Joshua chapter 7, verse 11, Israel has sinned and broken my covenant. Wow. They have stolen some of the things that I commanded must be set apart for me. And they have not only stolen them, but they lied about it. They not only stole them, but 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 they look at somebody and say, quit lying. You may be seated. Slight ring. Quit lying. I wanted to start with something very deep and poetic or theological, but the only way I could start this sermon was by a quote by a famous theologian by the name of Ray Charles' mama. Scratch a lie, find a thief. Man, I'm excited, YPMJ, because this series has been so thought-provoking. Yes. Do me a favor and put this in your notes if you're watching at home, watching in the room. There are certain series that are emotional. They take you to a place emotionally where you're excited. And if you're emotionally excited, it causes a reaction from you. I want to give God glory. But then there are certain series to me that are thought-provoking. Thought-provoking. Make that make sense, Pastor Mike. They cause you to sit back moments later, days later, and examine the deep recesses of your life. Yes. All right. This is what my goal is with this obscure series. I'm not telling you that a blessing's coming. I'm not telling you that overflow has your name on it. I'm not telling you that if you jump up, sit down and slap your neighbor high five, $1 million going to be in the bank by the time this time next year. What I'm telling you with this series is God can if you stop. Yes. Did you catch what I just said? Can I ask you a question? Who hates sitting at a long red light? All right, can I ask you a question? Where would you be if there was no red light? The rate of accidents would what? Skyrocket. Every stop ain't a penalty. Some stops are for protection. I don't hope you catch what I just said. Every stop isn't a penalty. Some stops are for your protection. Somebody say, I quit. And our working definition of quitting is real simple. I want you to say it. Pastor Mike, why do you preach in series form? I want to inculcate you with knowledge. I want to just beat you over the head with one definition so long that by the time I get done, you should be finishing my sentence. You should be somewhere to the point where I say, our working definition of quit means to intentionally do so God can do more. I'm doing a good job, ain't I? To intentionally do less so that God can do more. And that's where we have to be in our lives. And what I'm learning now is there's another area that I desire to quit. And I want to say this very experientially, that I am preaching this series from a very personal place of pain. Each topic that I am teaching is an area that I have personally wrestled with. I believe you cannot heal it if you don't feel it. And that's the problem with the 21st century Christians. We want power in places we haven't been poked. Come on. We want an anointing in a place we have not been crushed. So what happens, PMJ? Today's topic, I quit lying. That's good. I quit lying. It was John Donne who said, no man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of a continent, a part of the main. What Donne was saying is that we are all in some way connected to each other. And what happens to one person affects all of us. It was Dr. Martin Luther King who said we are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality tied to a single garment of destiny, that whatever impacts you directly impacts me indirectly. What he was telling to America at that point was that whenever something happens to white America, black America feels it. It was Malcolm X who said when white America catches a cold, black America has pneumonia. What he was saying is there is a link, there is an invisible link that whatever happens to you directly impacts me indirectly. Meaning if I live in a neighborhood and you sell your house for $5, even though you got your $5, you just either hurt or hindered or helped me, because I can only sell my house based off of the level of houses in my community. Which means a lot of us are being hindered because we have people in our circle who are bringing our value down. Did you catch what I just said? I need you to catch this. Why? Because so often I hear people say how I live my life and the things I do is nobody's business but mine. But as long as I don't hurt anyone else, leave me alone. That is furthest thing from the truth I have ever heard. Why, Pastor Mike? Because in Joshua chapter 7, we have the story of how one man's hidden actions affected an entire nation. One man's lie hurt everybody. That's critical. Why, PMJ? What's the big idea or the big question of the day? Put this in your notes. Who in your life is losing because you keep lying? Who in your life is losing because you keep lying? Now, we're going to go deep into this thing called lying because it's deeper than I'm not where I said I was supposed to be. We want to talk about so many more depth, the depth of the lie. I want to really talk about this. Why, PMJ? I want you to catch this. The study published in Journal's June issue, I want you to catch this, found that 60% of people lied at least once during a 10-minute conversation and told an average of 2 to 3 lies. Look at your neighbor and say, your lying self right there. Is that why your mama said a lie ain't nothing for a Negro to tell? So I'm going to read that again, okay? The study published in the Journal's June issue found that 60% of people lied at least once during a 10-minute conversation and told an average of 2 or 3 lies in that 10 minutes. People tell a considerable number of lies in everyday conversation. The study also found that lies told by men and women differ in content, though not in quality. Okay, I want to say that better. They differ in content, but they do not differ in quantity. Make that make sense, PMJ? Because we're led to believe that men lie more than women, when the study shows they lie about different things. Philman says the results show that men do not lie more than women, and women do not lie more than men. But that men and women lie in different ways. Put this in your notes. This is going to get good today. Can you already tell? A couple of couples like, no, let's not watch today, babe. We don't want to watch today. Here it is. Watch this. Women were more likely to lie to make others feel good, while men lied to make themselves look better. Women lie to make others feel good, while men often lie to make themselves look better. So the question I would like to ask today, and I want you to do this at home. If you're watching at home right now, do me a favor. Go into your notes page on your cell phone. Pull out a pad, pull out a pen. I want to be interactive today in the room. I want you to take really good notes. I want you to begin to list, what are some lies we tell ourselves? What are some common lies we tell ourselves? I'll go first. All right. Lie number 1, I'm okay. Who's guilty? I'm okay. Knowing good and well you're about to fall apart. But you were taught to show weakness means you are weak. Can I ask you a question? If you catch a cold, does that mean you're cold? Why is it when it comes to emotional trauma, we wear it? When it comes to physical sickness, we just diagnose it. You are not what you feel, and you are not what you do. What you do is just what you did. So one of the lies we tell ourselves is, number 1, I'm okay. Let's put this in your notes. Number 2, I'll do it tomorrow. I quit lying. I'm okay when you're about to break. Lie number 2, I'll do it tomorrow. Number 3, I'm too busy. I'm too busy. Number 4, I don't care. That might be my number 1 go-to. So-and-so said so-and-so, I don't care.
Talk about it.
I got too much I'm doing. I ain't studying that. Then later that night, I'm laid up thinking like, why, God? Number 5, I'm good. You want to do it? I'm good. Here's a good one for my couples and my singles. I can't live without. Can I ask you a question? What are the lies you're telling yourself? Because I would like to almost argue that you are and you may be hindering what God is desiring to do in your life because you won't be real with you. Wow. Put this in your notes. It's really good. Lying to others is deception, while lying to yourself is delusional. Lying to others is deception, while lying to yourself is delusional. So the question I would like to ask you today is, are you deceptive or delusional?
Wow.
Which one is it? When I lie to others, I'm trying to deceive them. When do we see deception in the Bible? In the garden. In Genesis, we see deception. A snake rose up and deceives Eve. And because he deceives Eve, passes that deception on to Adam.
Yeah.
Watch this. The snake deceives Eve. Eve deceives Adam. Adam and Eve become delusional. The snake deceives Eve. Eve deceives Adam. Adam and Eve become delusional to the point that they actually believe they can hide from God. So the question I would like to ask you, who or what are you trying to deceive? But more importantly, where and what areas are you delusional? Some of us will never grow because we won't accept the reality of where we're weak. Preach, PMJ, where I am weak. Come on, help me now. When I'm weak, when I'm weak, how can he be strong if you're delusional about the times when you're weak? How can God pick you up if you're delusional about the times when you're down? How can we intercede for you when you're deceptive about your pain? So now we're checking on you. Hey, are you doing okay? No, I'm good. Then because you're deceptive with us about your pain, you become delusional with it about yourself. Then you begin to blame people for not helping you when you're the reason you're not being helped, because you're lying to yourself and to others. When in my life, if you can't handle the fullness of who I am, if I'm not okay, I'm going to tell you I'm not okay. If you really don't want to help, don't ask me. See, that's the problem. We need to start telling people the truth to reveal if their motives are really as pure as they say they are. Are you deceptive or delusional? And I want to be honest, there have been seasons in my life, baby girl, where I have been delusional. Delusional about the lack of strength of certain relationships. Delusional about perceived loyalties.
That's good.
I love you so much that I am now delusional about the fact that you keep proving to me you don't love me equally. Delusional. Because when you are delusional, you self-impose your strengths on others' weaknesses.
That's good.
You exaggerate your strengths for weaknesses. So you can see this person isn't what they're supposed to be. But you then become delusional about how much more better you can make them. I'm talking heavy today. And when we lie, put this in your notes for a definition of lie. To lie is to practice deceit, falsehood, and treachery, either by word or action. Now, I'm going to say that slow because it's not on the screen. That definition didn't hit me to the car ride over here, and I didn't want to rush and have them put that on the screen and mess something up. So I'm going to say it again, okay? Somebody in the comments write that and just pin it for me, Ebony, so other people can see it, okay? To lie, Rock City's definition is to practice deceit, falsehood, and treachery, either, here's the most important part, by word or action. That's cold. You want to know why that's cold? Tiffany, you want to know why that's cold? Deacon Melvin, you want to know why that's cold? Ro, I ain't seen you, but Ro, you want to know why this is cold? This is so cold because we were taught that lies were verbal. We were taught that a lie was something you said. When I come to suggest a lie, it can also be something you live. A lie can be something you do. Right now on Instagram are some beautiful lies. Yep. When you leave off the service today, I want you to just go down your timeline and I want you to confuse everybody. I want you to double tap every lie you see. That's what I want you to do. Oh, look at how happy we are. Lie. Look at this beautiful apartment. Lie. Because people will not show you their truth. They show you the manicured truth, which in essence is the opposite of the real truth, which by default is somebody shout Michael. Because lies are not just by word, they are also by action. Can I ask you a question? What's the first lie Adam and Eve told? Everybody confused. Can I tell you what I feel like the first lie was? When they acted by hiding themselves. Yeah. This is why the first question God asks of them is, where are you? And what do? We hid ourselves because we were naked. Then I believe the text says what? Who told you you were naked? They were living. Now let me free you. Can we go here? I told you this series right here is thought provoking. Is that cool? Can I free you real quickly? They were naked from the jump. Okay. So can I ask you a question? Are they naked when God asks where they are? Yes. No. They have on clothes. They have on leaves. Because the text says we hid ourselves. Let me show you how powerful deceit and delusion is. It made what was natural feel illegal. That's what deceit and delusion did. See, deceit and delusion, this is why you got to get negative, toxic people out your life. See, there are certain people in my life now that I'm having hard conversations with, and I'm being very clear, very direct right now in my life. Very clear, very direct in my life right now, because I am coming aggressively against deceit and delusion. That's what kills most relationships, most movements, most ministries, most marriages, most businesses, deceit and delusion. Deception and delusion. I'm telling you. So now when I meet people, see, people would do stuff like, see, you ain't check on, hey, you ain't come around no more. It was a whole pandemic. Didn't nobody come around for a year. Well, we don't talk like we used to. So now I say stuff like, well, if you really want to know the truth, can you handle the truth? Don't tell me the truth. I never talk to you. We talked at church. Because of a pandemic, we're no longer at church. So I'm not going to magically start talking to you on the phone when the place was taken. What you just revealed to me is that you allowed self-delusion to make you believe we were something we weren't. That's not a me issue. That's a you issue. And some of y'all looking at me like, no, he didn't. Some of y'all gonna be free when you start telling people, no, I am not about to live under your forced restrictions. No, you're not finna have me living based off of rules you change and create daily and weekly to fit your false reality. So what I'm trying to get you to realize is somebody say, I quit lying. I want to argue that every time you go a place that is antithetical to who God called you to be, in that place you ain't just kicking it, you're living a lie. Every time. Every time. I'm young. I'm fly. You know, I want to hang sometime. It was Miles' homecoming. I want to go to the homecoming as Pastor Mike Jr., 5-time Stellar Award winner, 2021 Artist of the Year. You don't think I want to walk in Miles' homecoming like, man, what's up, boy? Hey, you don't think I want to do that? You don't think I want to go with all the brothers? Like, what's up, boy? You doing good? But some of the environments, the mere fact that I'm there makes me become a lie. See, some of y'all too busy trying to figure out what's a lie and don't realize by default you're becoming a lie. Y'all don't like me today. Y'all don't like me today. Go to Joshua 6. So look what it says. Jericho and everything in it must be completely destroyed. This is critical because in the book of Joshua is about the life and leadership of a man by the name of Joshua, who is Moses' successor. Moses dies and God taps Joshua on the shoulder and tells Joshua to pick up where Moses left off. Okay, so I want to make this make sense. Joshua is serving Moses. Joshua's life is a life that is antithetical to the lie. Moses tells 12 of his top people, go scout out the promised land. 12 people go to the promised land. 10 come back and say, we are grasshoppers in our own eyes. Watch what they say. We cannot do this. Joshua says, yes, we can. I want you to catch this. What's the first lie we must denounce? The lie of the majority. The lie of the majority. What is the lie of the majority? The lie of the majority, or the principle of the majority, states that if everybody's doing it, it must be okay. If everybody's going in that direction, it must be right. So that means if everybody wilding and they look like they making it, I can wow. You want to know why you can't do what everybody else do? It's because the grace and the oil on your life is so different that you will have to pay for what they play in. It's different, ain't it? Have you ever, I'm only preaching to 5 of y'all who see everybody in your circle act a fool. Then the moment you decide to at least think about acting a fool, your car break down, your hips start hurting, your head start hurting. It's like they can go do whatever they want to do. And the moment, why, PMJ, you have been set apart. Oh, royal priesthood, peculiar people. I have anointed, somebody say anointed, which means I set you apart, which means you the truth. You the truth. I can't let you live lies. No, if they do something, it impacts them. If you do something, it impacts y'all. There's a difference between them and y'all. If they win, they win. If I win, we win. I need 100 people to type, when I win, we win. I need 100 people to type, when I win, we win. You ain't been in church in 15 months. Just look at your neighbor and say, when I win, we win. When God bless me, everything connected to me going to another level. When God bring me out, everybody connected to me going out. When God raised me up, everything connected to me going up. Why? Because God put a different level of favor on my life. Somebody shout, I quit. Leave me alone, right? So hear me when I say this. I need you to catch this. Jesus, sit down. Jesus lets you know that lies are unacceptable because he says, I am the way. See, thank you, Darius. Hear me when I say this. When he says, I am the way to truth, truth is not just the principle, it's a person. This is why we got to be careful when the culture say stuff like live your truth. Be careful. Be careful. Because it may be your truth, but it still may be a lie. Live your truth. That's one of the things I pride myself on as not just a pastor or a man of God, but as a person. As a person, I pride myself on the fact that I really believe from my heart when you see me, you kind of know what you get. You know, there is no false pretense with me. I'm not trying to act as if I'm something. I don't try to come off holier than thou. If half of y'all found out that I cussed, I'm pretty sure all of y'all would be like, yeah, I can see that. Raise your hand if you feel like I can see that. Like, come on, tell the truth. You ain't gonna hurt my feelings. Raise your hand. If somebody called you today and said, girl, I heard Pastor Mike cuss, who would be like, yeah, I can see that. Sometimes during the sermon, I could have swore I heard him cuss, but I couldn't rewind it quick enough to kind of find the spot. Because I just try to be. Now that's not a valid excuse to cuss. It just means I try to live my life in a way that you can see the areas where I'm still growing. See, that's why I try to do it. That's why I'm real about, man, every now and then I have to tell my team I'm liking the praise of people just a little too much. I've never really been popular, never really been cute, never really been that guy. So now that sometimes you get some of the praise, it can go to your head. So I don't lie about it. Well, how you handling everything? Well, you know, I've been prepared for this, God. How you like? I don't know. You been praying for me. I like it a little too much. I ain't gonna lie. I like it a little too much sometimes because truth is not just a principle. It is a person. I am the way, the truth, and the life. And I want you to catch this. Why, Pastor Mike? This is cold-blooded because Joshua's life, the first lie that I have to come against, and if I don't finish, we'll finish next week, is the lie of the majority. The lie of the majority. Baby girl, with all God's doing in your life, and as young as you are and as focused as you are, and how much you bless my heart just seeing you become everything he's called you to be, it's going to be so hard for you to live the truth. Why, PMJ? Because of the majority. And because most people of God don't find themselves in the majority, by default, we believe we're inadequate. So the feeling of being inadequate makes the lie relievable. Is relievable a word? Leslie, is relievable a word? Okay, it is now. Who knew what I meant though? Relieve, it takes the sting of the pain away. Did you catch what I just said right there? So hear me when I say this. God tells Joshua, Moses tells Joshua, go to the promised land. 10 come back, say we can't, the majority. Joshua says, yes, we can. The first lie he overcomes is the lie of the majority. Why is that so important? Because his discernment said he could. Why? When he had never fought. Yeah. Why should Joshua, if I'm not mistaken, why has Joshua fought at this point? Who has he fought? He's fought the Amalekites. Who else has he fought? Is that his first battle? The Amalekites. He doesn't have a track record. Hear me? A track record of being oh so tough, oh so bad. He fights the Amalekites. He goes over here, sees giants. He says, nah, yes, we can. The lie of the majority. What's the second lie Joshua has to overcome? Moses then dies. Joshua spends days mourning. God comes to Joshua and says, Joshua, your season of mourning is up. Rise up, take these people. The second lie we have to come over, not only the lie of the majority, but the lie of mourning. Wow. Talk about it. All right, so I want you to do me a favor. We're live this morning. If you're watching me right now, this is live. I am in the sanctuary preaching to you live, so I can't give you all the tricks that I normally do to make sermons come to life and all the graphics on the screen because Dre has not evolved to a level that I can do that live just yet. But we're going to continue to pray for Dre that he gets to another level, so while I'm preaching, he can just have all type of graphics. But since he can't, I need your help, okay? The first lie was the lie of the what? Majority. All right. The second lie is the lie of what? Mourning. How do you spell mourning? How else can you spell mourning? Weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes. What is weeping? Mourning. So what the text is saying subconsciously is that there is a time for mourning. Then there's a time of mourning. You missed it. There is a time for mourning, and then there is a time of mourning. And many of you are going to miss the blessing and the breakthrough because you keep making your for your of. God says, I am giving you an allotted time to cry over them. My God. I am giving you an allotted time to cry over that. I am giving you an allotted time to cry over your mistake, over your issue, over your pain. But when the time is up, it is time for you to get up. And one of the greatest lies you keep telling yourself is that you still have time to be silly. You still have time to cry and to mourn. And for many of you, you're about to miss what God is about to do next because you're still crying over what he did last. I quit lying to myself. I want to say something and I pray you can help it. They left. I don't know if they're coming back. But if they do come back, they're not coming back to who they left. Y'all missed what I just said right there. They left. I don't know if they're coming back. But if they come back, they are not coming back to who they left. Because I'm crying to get all of this out of my system. Because I know mourning may endure for Somebody say joy. Joy. The joy of the Lord is my strength. Which means weeping may endure for the night, but joy, what is joy? Strength comes when? Sit down. Strength comes when? All right, so let's break it down. Weeping is what? Mourning. M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G. So mourning may endure for the night. What is night? A time slot. So mourning may endure for an allotted time. But joy, what is joy? Strength comes when? In the next time slot. Which means, I need you to catch this, I got an allotted time to be weak. But then I also have an allotted time to be strong. Can I free you? If you're still mourning in the morning, you are intentionally weak. This is the equivalent of somebody being healed but choosing to be in a wheelchair. You ain't weak by default. Watch this. You like the attention. Michael, I am praying. And some of y'all need to stop lying to yourself thinking, well, I ain't never had nobody help you. You 30 now. You 45 now. At a certain point, tell that little child that was broken, I need you to grow up, because I'm not wasting the next phase of my life still crying about the last phase of my life. Can I prophesy scripture? And the latter shall be greater. So what do we realize? The first lie is the lie of the majority. I may never be in the majority. The majority say stuff like, we can't own them all. The majority say stuff like, well, ain't nobody going to church no more. The majority say stuff like, man, you might as well just go and quit. Nobody care about that job. No. Whose report? Whose report will you believe? We believe the report of the Lord. The second lie is the lie of mourning. Thinking you can just cry all you want to. Because, y'all sit down. Because the culture tells us lies subconsciously. The devil is slick. That's why he hisses. He's slick. The devil was the prince of the air. Let's make that modernized, contemporized, McClurized, prince of the air, which means equivalent airwaves. Anything you hear on radio, visually on TV, socially, those are airwaves, which means he has access to it. Access to it. Devil is slick. The devil just drops commercials. That's all he do. From a child, he inceptions you as a child. That's one of my favorite movies, Inception. How they would go into a person's brain and drop little ideas. That person would wake up really believing it was their idea. It's called Inception. I inception them all the time. It's just Inception. I just walk up to the staff sometimes and say, man, you're doing such a good job. It's so great if you just did so and so. They walk in there 2 minutes later. You know what I've been thinking about? Inception. Hear me. To the point now where they look at me and say, you ain't gonna inception me. You ain't gonna inception me. Hear me. So hear me. I love that. But that's what the devil do. He gets us as a child. It's real subtle. It's my party, and I cry if I want to, cry if I want to, cry if I want. What's the next verse? You would cry too if it happened to you. No one. And because now as a child you're told, it's my party. My party. What's the adjacent lie to that? If you're good at parties, they call you the life. What is life? The pulse, the heartbeat. So let's substitute party with life and heartbeat. It's my heart. And I cry. What is crying? Mourning. So as a child, they tell you subconsciously, because your physical ear heard it, your spirit man caught it. So let me free you. Your ear is a container. Your spirit, the strength of your spirit becomes a strainer. So all my women who can cook, all my fellas who can cook, you know that if you get some spaghetti or something that's in the pot and you just want to pour it in a strainer because you want all the water to come out or whatever, and if I said that wrong, just y'all get what I'm saying. You put it in a strainer and it keeps what's needed, but it lets out what's not. Your spiritual truth on your spiritual walk with Christ, your discipleship gives you straining because you hear a lot during the day. Today, you're going to hear my word, they mess, they tea, your own issues. Your spiritual discernment has to strain it. If you're not in your word, not fasting, not praying, not giving, not committed, you have no straining, which means all of it just, and what's ever strongest remains. So it's my party and I'll cry if I want to. I can cry if I want to. God says, no, Joshua, your time for crying is get up. It's over. He says, now get up, watch this, and take these people over. Take these people over. He take these people over the water, right? So when we run into Joshua 6, right? Jericho and everything in it must be completely destroyed as an offering to the Lord. So let's stay right there, okay? Joshua gets to Jericho. Who knows this story? Joshua beats the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. If Dre wasn't in the back filming, he would have started singing. We sung that in the 8th grade. All right? Joshua beat the battle of Jericho, okay? We know this. Y'all know that they walked around the walls. All right, the third lie I need you to debunk is the lie of mimic strategy. Mimic strategy. What was the first lie? No, the lie of the majority. Second lie was what? Mourning. Third lie, mimic strategy. What am I talking about, PMJ? Joshua gets to Jericho and God says, don't fight. Walk. No other city has been taken like this. If you're going to go to battle, we need to find a general who has a good strategy and do what they did. God says, you're different. I'm going to knock the wall down. That's for everybody who's on social media looking at how people grew their business. Be careful if you buy the lie of mimic strategy. What worked for them may not be what works for me. You see their end success. What if God is saying, I'm going to give you what they got without having to lose what they had? Michael. So you see 1 million followers. You don't realize their family didn't make it and they half crazy. God said, I'm taking you through it and you're going to come out whole. You're going to be saved and paid. Blessed, not stressed. I'm preaching to somebody already. It is the lie of mimic strategy. Mimic strategy. I am so proud of myself, and I rarely say stuff like that, because the pressure to be back in church right now is at an all-time high. And I'm getting it from all ends now. People, when are we going to open? When are we going to do? So you doing concerts at places? That's my health. I have a right to decide where I'm going to go personally. I cannot just lackadaisically call thousands of people into one place. No, when I go do a concert, I stand on the stage, I sing, I go right back to the back. So I'm dealing with so much pressure. Well, why we can't do it like them? Is it working for them? You saw their picture. I saw that angle. Come on. Thank you, James. I saw their manicured truth. No, so right now in this season, I am hearing from God. I am hearing from God. Why, PMJ? And I mean it's from the depths of my soul. I am not sure how much of my sanity can handle one of you. I don't even want to say it out loud because I was irresponsible. Now I know there's going to come a certain point where we just got to trust God totally. At the same time, there's a lot that goes into black church, especially when thousands of people are in the room. So what I say now is I'm not going to fall to the lie of mimic strategy. And the truth of the matter is I don't say it a lot. A lot of the strategy you see is from me. No. So hear me when I say this. Many of you right now are forfeiting your destiny because you're mimicking their personality. I'm going to say it again. Many of you are forfeiting your destiny because you're too busy mimicking personality. You like how it looks on them. So I'm going to try to preach like you because if I preach like you, I'll get what you got. I'm going to try to dress like you because if I dress like you, I'll attract what you got. I'm going to try to build my stuff just like yours because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. How you know it's not broke? Do you get the diagnostic report? Do you see the inner workings? It's mimic strategy. Joshua said, can you imagine the pressure he could have been under to tell his people, hey, y'all, don't bring no swords. We just gonna walk. And do me a favor. I mean, I want to be very clear. Don't nobody say nothing. Walk in silence. Keep your ideas to yourself. Now, I want to free you real quickly. Although nobody said he was crazy, I bet they was looking at him like he was crazy. I bet the second time he came around that water, YPMJ, can you put this in your notes? It's not on the screen. Can you put this in your notes? There are certain times when I need your agreement, and there are certain times when I need your compliance. There are certain times when I need you in full agreement with me, baby girl. Hey, this is what we doing. We giving, we trusting God, we doing so-and-so, and I need your heart to be in that. Then there are certain times when I'm like, hey, this is what we doing. Whether you like it or not, just comply.
So good.
In your life, there are seasons when you need people to be in agreement with you. Then there are seasons when you need people to be in compliance. Hey, I love you from the bottom of my heart, but you really don't have a choice right here. If you don't like this, you're going to have to leave. If you're going to stay, you're going to have to comply. The strategy is too important. Joshua walks around the wall. I'm not going to finish the sermon today. I'll come back and get it next week, okay? So Joshua walks around the wall. You notice the wall comes down. The wall comes down, all right? Wall comes down. So now Joshua, are y'all with me?
Yes, sir.
God tells Joshua something very specific. Look at this. He says, Jericho and everything in it must be completely destroyed. Let's just leave that right there. Jericho and everything in it must be completely destroyed. Completely destroyed. That right there is enough. That right there is enough. The next lie that many of us tell ourselves, I hope you catch this and I'm going to explain it, is the law of mercy. The lie of mercy. Yes. All right, let's do this together. I need my scholars. Define grace. Getting something you don't deserve, unmerited favor. Who else has a good definition of grace? Okay. What's the definition of mercy?
Not getting something you do deserve.
So grace is getting something you don't deserve. Mercy is not getting something you do deserve. All right. So the lie of mercy to Pastor Mike Jr. is when God tells you to kill something you friend. You got some habits God said destroy. You showed mercy. You kept it in your back pocket. You left them, but you ain't delete them. You stopped, but you ain't renounce it. You put it up, you ain't throw it away. You showed it mercy. Can I ask you a question? God will never ask you for a thing he has not done. When the children of Israel leave Egypt, he allows Pharaoh and his army to chase him. He lets them get in the water, and he allows the water to what? Crush them. Why did God wipe them out? Because had he not destroyed them completely, they would have forever been chasing them. And at a certain point, God don't want you running from something. He wants you running to something. Too many of y'all have spent your life running from stuff when it's time for you to run to something. Running from pain when God wants you to run to purpose. Running from frustration when God ready for you to run to favor. Somebody ought to shout, I'm running to. I'm running to. But you cannot properly run to as long as you keep showing stuff mercy that God called you to properly destroy. Destroy it. I'll handle it. It's going to be stuff, Pastor Kurt, when you get to Destiny City, that you're going to fall in love with certain people and certain things, and you can't make the mistake I've made in the past of the lie of mercy when God tells you to wipe out a department, but you keep pieces. So then you look up and all of a sudden, that same spirit is still there because you never completely destroyed it. Or I should have put people in a room and just said, hey, I want to make this very clear. This is my beloved son. This right here is flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. So I want to make it very clear. To come against him or them is a direct attack against me. Anybody got a problem with it can leave. I should have destroyed that spirit completely. But when you play with it, it play you. Right, that's crazy. When you play with it, it play you. Why, PMJ? When you don't destroy something completely, what you're really doing is becoming delusional that you can control it. Michael, which makes it a what? Lie. Because there are two types of lies, deception and delusion. Deception is when you're trying to do what? Deceive somebody else. Delusion is when you're lying to who? You. So when God tells you to end something or kill it completely and you don't kill it completely, you're delusional because you're under the idea that you can handle it. Can I ask a question? I need 7 people. If I'm gonna ask this question, 7 of y'all are the type, you're talking to me. Somebody gonna throw your hand up in the room. Who's tried to stop something God told you to stop, but you didn't stop it all the way? You kept a piece of it in your life because you thought you had it under control, only to find out it came all the way back. And when it came back stronger. 10 times worse. Completely destroyed as an offering to the Lord. Now watch this. Only Rahab, the prostitute, and the others in her house were spared. Out of everybody in Jericho, the prostitute found favor. Can I ask you a question? This is my own personal revelation. If anybody has a better one, y'all can talk about it on Devo Energy, okay? It's my time. I can talk about my revelation right here. Out of all the people in Jericho, why God didn't use a priest? Leslie, why God didn't use a minister or evangelist? He used a prostitute. Why do you think he used a prostitute? She was comfortable with people using her. She had the right practice. It was just in the wrong place. She had the right practice. She was comfortable being used. She was just being used by the wrong people. I'm finna take out running in here. By the wrong people. And hear me when I say this, it'll be a shame it'll be a shame. Hear me when I say this, it will be a shame for you to die allowing everybody to use you but God. It will be a travesty if you die letting everybody use you but God. It'll be a travesty if you die giving to everybody but God's house. It'll be a travesty if you're giving all that advice to people who you know not gonna listen to it and never get in purpose. Look at what he says. Go back to 17. I don't want to go too fast. Look what he says. Spare Rahab and everybody in her house, for she protected the spies. Next verse, and I'm going to stop. Do not take any of the things set apart for destruction. Look at this word. Or yourselves will be completely destroyed. Don't touch nothing or you yourselves will be completely destroyed. You will bring trouble on the entire camp of Israel. Look at the next verse, verse 19. Everything made from silver, gold, bronze, iron is sacred to the Lord and must be brought into the what? Treasury. I'm finna get you home and I want you to catch this and let you log off. Why is this important, PMJ? This is important because God gives them absolute instructions. He says, when you go to this city, I'm going to give you victory. Don't take nothing. Don't touch nothing. Destroy everything. What happens? Somebody keeps something. So I want to make this make sense and I'm going to go really fast. They go to Jericho and defeat all these people. They leave Jericho, go to this small city by the name of Ai and get defeated. Joshua is now tripping. Because he can't figure out, I want you to catch this, how do we go against the whole continent of America? How do we go against the United States of America and win, then go to Ainsley and lose? This don't make sense. So he goes to God to try to figure it out. I'm finna help somebody if you stay with me. Watch this, Joshua 7:1. But the Israelites acted unfaithfully in regard to the devoted things. Achan, son of Carmi, the son of Zimri, and the son of Zerah of the tribe of Judah, took for them some stuff. Watch this. So the Lord's anger burned against Israel. You missed it. I'm gonna read it slow and you tell me when you see the danger of a lie. But the Israelites acted unfaithfully in regards to the you saw it already, to the devoted things. Achan took some stuff. So the Lord's anger burned against Israel. Who stole? Achan. Who got to pay for it? Israel. Who lied? Achan. Who gonna deal with the consequences? Why is that important, PMJ? This is why it's important. I need you to catch this. The most powerful sin in your life is the one you haven't confessed yet. Achan hid what he stole in the ground. This is critical. I need you to catch this. Why is this important, PMJ? Achan hid what he stole in the ground. Why is that important, PMJ? I need you to catch this. Putting something in the ground is a form of a seed. To place something in the ground is either planted or buried. If it's buried, it's not your job to come back and get it. If it's planted, you're looking for a residual income. Achan subconsciously thought he could plant that which God told him not to touch in the ground and didn't realize spiritually it was growing. He planted gold. He didn't realize what he really planted was deceit. A lot of what we're dealing with right now is the harvest of old lies. Either we spoke or we lived. You fussing at children because they look like your old lie. Miserable in relationships because the whole relationship was built upon a lie. Nothing God gives you right now is enough because you prayed a lie. Trying to fit in with the majority. Trying to be humble and didn't have to be humble. You could have been real. Well, tell me what you really want to do. Well, anyway, he blessed me. Then when he blessed you anyway, now you miserable. When you should have said, well, if you don't mind, since you asked me, pray that I get the job at so-and-so, making XYZ, so I can just be in a place where I can help my family. That's what I really want. Well, God know my heart, but he heard your lips. So now you want to put the pressure on God to ignore what you said and know what you need? No, he's going to do that. He's going to do that by default. But death and life. Y'all don't like me today. I got to stop. I can keep going. Joshua is crying out. 36 people have died. They've lost the battle, and God answered Joshua's prayer in a very interesting way. Joshua's on his face all day crying, and God has one of the craziest answers to a prayer I've ever seen. 1 person out of 3 million didn't listen. Look at what God says to Joshua. Play softly. I'm going to stop because I will keep going for another hour. I got that many notes. Hear me when I say this. Joshua tells him, the Lord said to Joshua, stand up. Somebody say stand up. What are you doing down on your face? Let me pause and parenthetically digress for a second. I believe this is one of the next times where we see God tell him to get up. I think the last place we saw him get up, he was mourning over Moses. This time he's mourning over failure. What do we see? Joshua has a cycle, or you're better at this than me. Joshua has a pattern. Thank you, Hollis. Joshua has a pattern that he cannot break. When life get tough, he mourn. Say it again. He sink low when he mourn. He does not learn. And the danger of the lie, it makes you delusional about your growth. You actually think you're getting better because you keep hearing yourself say you better. I'm gonna ask a question I need y'all to be real honest with me about. Don't make me look crazy. Who done told a lie so long you actually believed it was the truth until somebody had to tell you that ain't what happened? Y'all gonna leave me hanging right there, huh? Why, PMJ? You done heard yourself say it so much that now you're living it. The Lord said to Joshua, stand up. What are you doing down on your face? Verse 11. Israel has sinned. Who sinned? Achan. But what does God say? No. Israel. Israel. That's why when you get this closely connected, what if God don't look down and say Aisha did it? What if he said, no, Rock City has sinned. So everybody's house finna be tore up for 6 months. And now you sitting there like, whoa, I ain't touched nothing. But you connected to somebody who touched something. Oh, I tell you what, so you only want to be connected when if God is in my neighbor, bless my neighbor, he bless my neighborhood. Now, so you only want the favor transferable. No, the penalty is transferable. Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Miss Slim, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Deacon Melvin, can I ask y'all a question? If Melvin hit the lotto for 20 million, how much you won? 20 million? Because we married. So if you win 20 million, what's another word for married? Covenant. We in agreement. So if he get 20 million, how much you got? 20 million. How much I got? 2 million. I done counted my tithes already. Soon as you call me, Pastor, I hit for 2 million. What you hit for 20 million doing? Well, I was playing the lotto. That's all I do. After the wicked laid up for the righteous. We got 2 million. We got 2 million. We got 2 million. Why? Because when you hit big like that, everybody starts picturing their place in your success. The friends say we going on a trip. The kids say we finna get a new house. Mama them say he gonna take care of me. Why is it when you lose, it's your loss? When I win, it's us. When I lose, it's me. That's what frustrates me so much about being me sometimes. That when I get a high, look at us. But when they dog me, he a trip. Look what he says. Israel has sinned. They, look at that plural, have violated my covenant, which I commanded them to keep. They, look at this language, have taken some of the devoted things. They have stolen. They have lied. That lets me know that God views those things separately. That's what we were wrestling about and we were preparing this message. Because our working definition was going to be to lie is to hide something. But then the scripture clearly made it very clear that not only did they hide, they lied. Those are two different things. You can hide something and then confess it, but no, he hid it and he lied. So the action was a lie. Okay, I want to help you real quickly. Am I helping anybody? I want to help you real quickly, okay? What lie did Achan tell? Say it again. It was his actions. Want me to show you his lie? Everybody gets in a line. I show up. Joshua showed up. All right, we just took the city. Everybody go find whatever you find, bring it back. Achan gets in line with 7 things when he really found 14. His action, the moment he turned it in and said, this is it, although he never mentioned that. Stop expecting God to deliver what you avoid. Can I free you real quickly? Pastor, it's like I'm just in a cycle. I got this pattern I can't break. I can't be happy. Well, when I got your receipt from heaven, you left some of that off. When you turned in your order for what you wanted God to do, pornography wasn't on there. Depression wasn't on there. It was just stuff you wanted, not stuff you had to quit. Next verse. We gotta go. They don't like me. They don't like me today. Lying is a learned behavior that is rooted in the wrong beliefs. Can I ask you a question? Who stole? Who lied? Achan. Can I ask you a question? What's aching you? What's aching you? Achan. What's robbing you of a truth? I am healed. What's aching you? What's aching you? Can I ask you another question? What's aching your family? A deeper question, what's aching your future? Joshua begins to call on God, pray, pray, pray. And God says, hey, boy, stop. Y'all sinned. You can't pray this away. Joshua, you can pray all day, but you're not in this mess because you have a prayer problem. You're in this mess because you lied. I can't fast about stuff you lying about. You got us interceding, warfare, and laying grease all over you, and you lying. We could have fixed this 45 minutes ago by you just telling the truth. Prayer must partner with obedience, not substitute for it. Prayer must partner with obedience, not be a substitute for obedience. You can't be disobedient then pray strong. God requires we put him first to hurt, not to hurt us, but to help us. Now let me free you real quickly. Are y'all still with me? Are you still with me? Give me a heart if you're still with me right there. Let me help you. Jericho is a first fruit. Jericho was a tithe of the destiny. God says, I'm gonna take you to the promised land, D, but I'm gonna take you how? City by city or little by little. So what happens is, had God took them straight to the promise, liars would have inherited the promise. Because Achan's spirit, which is why when they find out what he's did, I believe the whole family is wiped out. They wiped out the family, his cattle, everything he had to die. Why, PMJ? Oh my God. Why, PMJ? Because he brought something from a place that God said to destroy, that was now on him. Watch this. I'm finna say something. I need you to catch this. He didn't just take from Jericho, he became Jericho. He became Jericho. This is the equivalent of you taking something from your past relationship into your new relationship. How y'all done, and they did all that to you, yet if you look on your dresser, it's a teddy bear. You brought their spirit with you. Destroy it completely. Jericho was a tithe. If you do right by Jericho, I'm gonna give you the other cities. But because they failed the test at Jericho, the next smallest city wiped them out. Let's go home when I say this. Let's go home when I say this, and I'm gonna stop. Let's go home. Here are 3 wrong beliefs we must quit so that we are not deceived by lies. The root reason most of us lie is because we don't completely trust God. Like Achan, many of us lie because we don't trust God. Look at Joshua 7:20, and I'm sorry I'm going so long, 21. Achan replied, they asked him, is it true? Look what Achan says. I want you to really see this. Achan replied, it is true. I have sinned against the Lord, the God of Israel. This is what I have done. Verse 21, when I saw in the plunder a beautiful robe from Babylonia, 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold weighing 50 shekels, I coveted them and took it. They are hidden in the ground inside my tent with the silver underneath. Leave that right there. He says, when I saw in the destruction a beautiful robe. I want to pause right here. I need time. I'm gonna pause. Why did the robe look so good to him? He was a slave. He had probably been beaten for years by folks with robes on. He probably would be in the field, look up there and just see somebody with a robe. And in his heart, at 12, he said, one day I'm gonna get one of them robes. So what does the devil do? Out of the entire city of Jericho, he lets him walk to the place where the robe was. I'm finna free somebody. What if your last temptation wasn't a temptation, it was a test? Because the two ain't the same. Temptation, God won't tempt you. He tests. Tests are made to are ensured. Tests are given to make sure you've learned the previous lesson so you can move to the next season. Temptations are sent to send you backwards and keep you stuck. He says, when I saw it, I'm gonna be honest, I coveted it. I wanted it. First lie is the lie of majority. Second lie is the lie of. The third lie is the lie of. The fourth lie is the lie of mercy. And the fifth lie is the lie that it's mine. Make that make sense, PMJ. When he saw it, he coveted it. Coveted it. That's mine. God, I want to free you. Leslie, I need your help. Arkel, I know you're in the back. Please don't be mad at me, but I want to show them scripture right here. Can you do me a favor? Can you please put, oh my Lord, Joshua 6:17 on the screen? Joshua 6:17. If you're watching online, I want you to stay with your passion. I really believe God's doing something in the spirit. Joshua 6:17. Look at what it says. There it is. Jericho and everything in it must be completely destroyed. Here's what we missed. As an offering to the Lord, the lie that it's mine. He touched it because he said subconsciously, that ain't God's. That's mine. When you touch the tithe, that is the delusional lie that it's yours. To not tithe is to become a lie. That tells God, number one, that's mine. Number two, you didn't give me enough to do what I need to do. Number three, you ain't God enough to keep me if I don't have it. Lies aren't just something we say, they are something we live. So how do we get over these lies? Glad you asked. Number one, quit believing that lies will bring me security. The false belief produces lies that seem like faith but are rooted in fear. This is the equivalent, Deacon McNeil, this is the equivalent of me saying that mall is mine. No, if it's God's will. I learned my lesson with my talk. No, if it's God's will. Because when you start saying it's mine, if it's yours, you keep it. Whatever yours, you protect. But whatever mine, I'ma cover. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under. To declare it's mine means I'm over it. To submit it means I'm under it. Stop expecting God to cover what you covet. Quit believing lies that lies will bring security. Number two, quit believing that lies will get me more. This false belief results in us having less of what matters. I was sitting at a table this week for a good deal or whatever, and we were getting ready to walk in. I told Tiffany, I said, I'm finna make it very clear. I don't share well. I don't do so-and-so. I'm not finna do X, Y, Z. And she kind of looked at me. I said, no, we're not doing that no more. Meeting these people and saying what we think they want to hear. Because then the whole relationship is based on a lie. Then when I get ready to do what I want to do, now they looking at me like I changed. I said, no, if it's going to work, it's just going to work. You're not going to fall in love with a lie. You're just going to like me for who I am. Point blank. If it don't work, baby girl, it's not God. Everything I force anyway got too heavy. It's the weight of it. Number three, quit believing that lies will help others like me. This false belief produces relationship based on lies. you know? If you're watching me right now, can y'all stand with me? Is that all right? Can you give God a hand? Thank you, God. I kept my assignment. God, I kept my assignment. That was a hard word right there. Today, I want to do a virtual altar call for those of you like me who need help getting over the lies. The lie of the majority that if you don't do it like them, it can't be done. The lie of mimic strategy. You know, the lie of mourning, that you've been depressed and grieving over the same thing long enough. It's time to get up. I want to speak by faith. Father, in the name of Jesus, whom the Son sets free. Oh, I feel the power of the Holy Spirit in this room. Whom the Son sets free is free indeed. God, invade their space right now. Spirit of the living God, invade their space right now. God, if we ever needed you, we need you right now. Some of us have a heart to be so much better, but we believe the lie that we're not good enough. We believe the lie that we'll never have the money. We believe the lie that stuff like that don't happen to me. We believe the lie that I'm not from the right family. We believe the lie that God, it's too much. But God, I speak by faith that even in this moment of clarity, we will have a different level of understanding. That God, we will know that in you we move, live, and have our being. We will understand that yes, we may be gifted, yes, we may be intellectual, yes, we may be anointed, but we can only do all things through you. That's the truth. God, we pray right now that we understand that there's a difference between church talk and biblical truth. When praises go up, blessings come down. That sounds good, but that's not biblical truth. The biblical truth is there's a time for sowing and a time for reaping. So in this moment, God, I sow prayer, so I can reap a breakthrough. God, I right now repent, not only for myself, but on behalf of everybody listening to me and connected to me, for every area of our lives we've said or lived a lie. We repent right now, God, that we were in places we shouldn't have been, said stuff we shouldn't have said. God, I repent for the little small lies of just telling people I was okay or we're fine. I repent, God, on behalf of everybody in our ministry for everything we did knowingly and unknowingly. God, most scholars don't even call this the lie of Achan. They call it the sin of Achan, because they realize how deeply rooted this was. So right now, God, we confess of our sins. We confess right now, God, I ask that you purge us with hyssop, that we shall be clean. Just wash us, and we will be whiter than snow. Create in us a clean heart, oh God, and renew a steadfast spirit, a consistent spirit, strong spirit. God, we give you all the glory. We give you all the glory. It's in Jesus' name. Everybody said. Can you clap your hands, Rock City? Listen to me, I love you so much. Somebody type, somebody shout, I quit lying. In your giving, don't be lying in your giving. Don't lie in your prayer life. Don't lie in any area of your life. Now, I know this, Pastor Mike, that's hard. Come on now. That's hard, but it should be something we're pursuing. We're pursuing. You get what I'm saying? It's understanding now that it is a real thing and we have to aggressively attack it. So I'm excited about that. Do me a favor. We are hiring here at Rock City. Our team is growing. The company, or I hate to say company, but we have to look at certain aspects of it like a business. I'm trying to position and posture our church for longevity. This is why we have CPAs, and this is why now I'm putting all of my attention. Here's a lie your pastor told with his actions, real soft rod, not with his mouth. Here's a lie your pastor told with his actions, not with his mouth. I said out my mouth, I was concerned about your spiritual development, but my actions said I was only concerned about your spiritual entertainment. That's why the majority of our staff is centered around the experience, not development. So one thing, as I was preparing this message, I realized, Mike, you're saying a lie. You're saying you want your church to grow strong, but 85% of your staff is on music and on lights and on cameras and on production and on singers and on musicians. And I said, no, the devil is a lie. That's something I have to correct. So now we're putting our energy toward discipleship and growing. So now I think there are a couple areas we're hiring in a full-time ministry director. This person will be responsible for the life development of those in our church, creating strategy, who love seeing people grow and assimilate. Say I join right now by texting Rock Nation to 28950, texting home to 28950. What happens next? That's crazy, right? What happens next? There needs to be somebody on the other end of that phone who gets that list, goes through that list, make sure there's a department that contacts those people. What if somebody dies? That's one of the things that makes me so mad about our church, that people lose loved ones, and by the time we find out, the person already developed somewhat of resentment in their heart because my church wasn't there. So a lot of times we're catching things second wind, but that's my fault as the leader. I never put someone in place to handle what we now call pastoral care. You got me? So those are things that I'm working on now. I believe that's going to help our church go to another level when people feel needed and known. I think that will be so important. We're also looking at content creators and creative directors and executive assistants. Do me a favor. If you feel God is calling you, I want to be very clear. This has to be a calling as well, where your vocation and your occupation collide. Occupation, what you do for money. Vocation, what you do for God. This is one of those times when they collide. So if you feel God is calling you probably to work in ministry, send your resume. I think there's an email on the screen. Is there an email on the screen? Or where can we send it, Leslie or somebody? If somebody's here who can help me. You can email it to jobs@therockcity.org, JOBS, jobs@therockcity.org. Let me warn you, whenever you get a job for God, he may call you to be Job for him. Job. Sometimes to work for God, sometimes he takes you through another level of testing. So please understand, this is not for the faint at heart. You can text jobs to 28950. We really want to expand our staff, and I'm excited about that. Do me a favor. I want you to know that I'm praying for you intently and intensively, and I cannot wait to see you. Rock City, I'm so glad to have all you in the room today. Thank you so much for being here. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I want to give a special shout out. I mean a special shout out to every person of Rock City who's been rocking virtually and you're committed to your ministry. Thank you so much. The lie was that if the church doors didn't open, the church would die. And the lie is wrong. We are growing stronger in God, and I thank you so much for that. Father, in Jesus' name, your will, nothing less, nothing more, nothing else. It's in Jesus' name. And everybody said, amen. I love you. Give God a hand clap of praise right there. Hallelujah.
I quit. Oh my goodness, another one. If that word blessed you the way it blessed us, go ahead and put some fire emojis in the chat. The hands up, the praying hands,
wow.
the brother on his knees praying, any of them emojis, and let us know that word blessed you the way that blessed us.
Yeah, it was an incredible word, man.
Yeah.
And also, if you decide to make a decision today, be sure to text home. Remember, this is the last semester for Pathway to Purpose.
Yes.
So text home to 28950. Also, we believe that this word, if it was a gift to you, if it blessed you at any part, you should respond.
Yes.
And a great way to respond is by your faith. What's a way to exercise your faith? Through giving.
Yes.
So if you're honored and ready to give right now, text IROCK to 28950, or there are a lot of other options right now.
You see them all right here on the screen. All of them. Cash App, money sign, The Rock City as well. Now, maybe that message blessed you or the service has blessed you, and you say, you know what? I want to be a part of what Rock City is doing. I want to give my life to Christ. You can text home to 28950.
Absolutely.
Once again, that's home to 28950. Now, family, don't forget, tomorrow morning, we're getting into it. You heard the inspiration. You got the word today. Tomorrow, we start with application, applying that word to our life.
Devo
Devo
energy.
Yeah, I ain't gonna sing it. I ain't gonna mess it up. You know what I'm saying? But we want to see you tomorrow morning at 7:21 a.m.
Absolutely.
Central Standard Time. Until then, God bless you. We love you. We'll
See you in the
soon.
morning.
Peace.
And today I want to take a road less traveled entitled, I Quit Dishonor. I quit dishonor. Look at Malachi chapter 1, verse 6. The Lord, the heavens army, says to the priest, a son honors his father and a servant respects his master. If I am your father and master, where are the honor and respect I deserve? You have shown contempt for my name, but you ask, how have we ever shown contempt for your name? Somebody type honor, honor, honor. So many people of God find themselves, and I said this last week and I want to re-emphasize it, in a perpetual cycle of dissatisfaction. A perpetual cycle of dissatisfaction. And because they can't properly discern what the problem is, we make immature statements like, I'm not sure what the problem is. I just feel empty inside. And that's because many of us have what we find in the book of Malachi called a lifeless religion. Now, I hit that last week, and I really want to just kind of sit here again this week because so many of us find ourselves in what we call a lifeless religion. The Jews living in Jerusalem were just going through the motions in their worship when Malachi arrived on the scene. So last week I brought up lifeless religion. Let's see where it was inception, where it was started, okay? Malachi arrives on the scene and he becomes frustrated because the Jews that were living in Jerusalem were just going through the motions. Little is known about Malachi. As a matter of fact, Malachi is shrouded in mystery. The only thing we really know about Malachi is his name. And his name translates to mean my messenger. That's critical. Malachi's name translates to mean my messenger. He may have been described as vigorous, clear-cut personality who strongly opposed, listen very clear, anyone who treated the temple and the things of God with indifference. All right. So we know something about Malachi right here in the text. All right. He was vigorous and he had a clear-cut personality. And he strongly opposed anyone who treated the temple and the things of God with indifference. Carelessness in worship offended him. That's critical right there. To be careless in worship offended him. He wanted to restore genuine worship of God based on true relationship with him. Malachi was an apologist for passion. Please put that in your notes, passion. He was an apologist, a defender. Don't be afraid of that word. Apologist is defender. He was a defender of people who lacked passion. So what would happen, Pastor Mike, when he arrived on the scene and he noticed that people were just going through the motion, he became offended. Now, I want to say this, and I know this may not be a rah-rah message, but I believe it is a message that will prick on the very heartstrings that God desires for me to pull on today, because so many of us are experiencing a lifeless religion. Okay? I want to say this, and I pray I say it how I feel it in my heart. Because of this technological move in the body of Christ, we are becoming overwhelmed with content. All right? But we are becoming dismantled in our compassion. Okay? So we're getting knowledge like at a rate we've never gotten it. But the passion that comes with it is being removed because you are living in a culture that makes you believe if you get the content, you can apply it. I hope you catch this. Hope you catch this. Just because I get the recipe off of Google does not make me a chef. Yeah, just because I get the instructions in a packet doesn't mean I know how to build a house or build a computer. Many of us are getting the content, but because we lack the passion or we refuse to sit at the feet of those that which can activate the very things that God desires to do in our life, we are now experiencing what Malachi calls a lifeless religion. No zeal, no passion for God's work, and our strength is being depleted. This is why it is so easy for many of us to diagnose our own issues. He was a fearless reformer who spoke without hesitation or embarrassment. He addressed the Jews who had been returned to their land after living in exile for 70 years. They had rebuilt the temple and reestablished the worship of God. Why is that important, Pastor Mike? They have been in exile for 70 years. All right. They rebuild the temple. I want you to catch this now. And they began doing the work of God, but they lack passion, because it is possible to do for God, but not have relationship with God. It is possible to do for God, but not have relationship with God. And I always talk about this, and I've said it once and I'll say it again. The cancer of complacency will eat away at your commitments. And that's so important. The cancer of complacency will eat away at your commitments. This is why many of us start strong, but we don't end strong. This is why so many of us can quote every scripture in the Bible, but it's hard to apply them to the areas of our lives that are lacking. It's because we have the cancer of complacency. Let's talk about complacency. And I want to put the definition of complacency on the screen. Complacency is the inability to have motivation and bring about a result of change, which then prevents us from walking out the fullness of our destiny. All right. So here's where I want to sit, because last week I talked about regret and I talked about complacency, but I want to kind of sit in complacency right here. Why, PMJ? What are the signs of spiritual complacency? What are the signs of spiritual complacency? Take really good notes. All right. Sign number one, overconfident before God. You become overconfident before God. Overconfident before God. I know God's going to do it because I'm me. I'm gifted. I'm talented. I don't have to pray before I preach. I just get up and preach. I don't have to hear from God before I lead worship. I just do it. Or I don't even pray before I go to the interview. My resume is just that strong. I become overconfident before God. You are in a sad place spiritually when you live a life that suggests I don't need God. I'm that skilled. I'm that knowledgeable. I am that gifted. I am that connected. That is a sign of spiritual complacency. Now, notice I just didn't say complacency. I'm not concerned about you being complacent in general. I am concerned with you being spiritually complacent. Spiritually complacent. Sign number two, you do not repent. So the second sign that you have grown spiritually complacent is you don't repent. You now live a life that is not pleasing to God. You do things that aren't pleasing to God. And at no point are you repentful. Repentful. I'm not just saying asking God for forgiveness. You are not even putting actions in place to suggest you desire to change your ways. That there is no repentance in your heart. You are at peace with how you're living and what you're doing. Number three, he does not actively seek God. Now that's so critical right there. That is so critical now, because what happens when you become spiritually complacent, you no longer seek God. As the deer pants for the water, thirsts for the water, so does my soul long for you. That's critical. In that one text right there, we see an analogy. We see a deer that's thirsty. And if a deer is then thirsty, he will search water. Now, I want to give you a story that I really believe will impact you and change your life right here. It's so crazy. We go outside yesterday morning. I let my dog out of the cage. All right. His water little tray is empty. All right. I haven't had a chance to put any water in it, and I'm moving slow because the boys have left socks all over the backyard, shoes, paper. We just had the birthday party, everything. Okay. So I'm trying to pick this stuff up. I guess I'm not moving fast enough for my dog. I see him lick the grass. All right. And I'm like, whoa, what are you doing? Then I looked down and realized there was dew on the grass. He had become so thirsty that because his traditional form of water, or how he normally quenches his thirst, was not available, he had an innate ability that there was water in places that I did not know. And what it made me realize was that when you are truly thirsty, you will find what you thirst for. And many of you can say, I just need a word. I just need a word. With all the messages available on YouTube, with all the Devo energy we do in the morning, with all of the words that we drop on our social medias, if you are thirsty spiritually, it is because you are going on a spiritual fast from what you need. not because it's not available. Hear me when I say this. If you then thirst for God, one of the signs of being spiritually complacent is you lack a thirst for God. You do not seek him. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct as the deer pants for the water. Pant. Pant. See, because he's thirsty, but it's impacting his breathing. For the water. He said, that's the same way my soul longs for God. Wow. Another sign that you're spiritually complacent is you use grace as an excuse. This is cold-blooded. You use grace as an excuse. And I want to sit right here and I want to talk to you right now because you live a life that says, I can do whatever because his grace is sufficient. I want to challenge you right here because yes, God's grace is sufficient, but the sufficiency of God's grace is not an excuse for the ignorance of your decisions. That's right there on the screen. The sufficiency of God's grace isn't available to trump the ignorance of your decisions. All right. God's grace is sufficient. That doesn't mean I can go jump from a 50-story building and say I'm not going to die because he's going to keep me. That doesn't mean I can run my car into a wall and say, but I was wearing a seatbelt. You got me? Here's what's crazy. I grew up on the campus of West Alabama. I pledged Kappa Alpha Psi, and I never forget, we would go out some nights and I would hear certain people say things like, let me go ahead and get my aspirin and my so-and-so and my so-and-so. Like, what's that for? Because I know I'm going to have a hangover in the morning. They would get drunk the night before and already have the remedy to the after effects in plan. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. Many of us live a life like that. We live a life like that. We make decisions knowing that it's a bad decision, and we lean and depend on grace. Stop expecting God to clean the messes that you intentionally make. Stop expecting God. God is not a God who's here to just clean up all of your messes. No, we become spiritually complacent. How we become spiritually complacent? Here's another reason. The complacent Christian has no great love for God and no real consciousness of his own sins. The complacent Christian has no great love for God and no real consciousness of his own sin. This means you're now in a season or a place in your life where you're living in a way that is not pleasing to God and you're not even conscious of it. You've begun to believe the excuses that you sell others and you're believing them for yourself. You avoid dwelling on spiritual thoughts because you know the truth will interfere with the comfortable way that you live. That's critical. I mean, it's from the bottom of my heart. Many of us know when you get too far out there, you even stop listening to church, stop coming to church because it's going to impact what you're living. You know this. When you're in a relationship you shouldn't be in, there's certain people you don't want to talk to because they're going to bring about a conviction and that's going to make you uncomfortable about the lifestyle that you're in. Hear me when I say this. My job as your pastor is to afflict you when you're comfortable and make you comfortable when you're afflicted. That's important. Why? Repentance is a symbolic exercise at best and not a very important one when you're spiritually complacent. We omit repentance. So what are the side effects of being complacent? Look at this. Number one, we no longer have intimacy with Christ. Number two, we are no longer part of his purposes. And number three, we are no longer prepared for the future that is coming. Look at the three side effects of complacency. We no longer have intimacy with Christ. We just feel like we can't feel him. And I don't know about you, but I've been in a place in my life where I just couldn't feel God. I prayed and didn't feel his power. If I'm talking to you, just type, preach, Pastor, preach. Like Pastor Mike, I watch the stream and it don't feel the same. Or and I tell myself things like, well, it's because I'm not in person. When I get back in person, the feeling's going to come back. Not if you're complacent. Because by the time you get back in person, complacency will convict you to not even show up to the place. Yeah, we're no longer a part of his purposes. As God's final spokesman prior to John the Baptist, listen to how important Malachi is. As God's final spokesman prior to John the Baptist, Malachi arrived to challenge God's people. Malachi would be the last spokesperson before John the Baptist. He is the last spokesman of the Old Testament. And that's my job as your man of God, as your pastor. Now, I hit on this last week, but I want to kind of sit here for a second. My pastor is my man of God. And my man of God's responsibility is to push and challenge me to godly living through kingdom principles. Godly living through kingdom principles. And sadly, many of us miss what God desires to do in our life is because we are giving titles to people who don't understand the responsibility of the title that you're giving them. You're calling somebody a wife who has never been trained on how to be a wife. So then you are expecting something from her because of a title when nobody explained to her her responsibility. As your man of God, is my responsibility to push and challenge you to godly living, watch this, through kingdom principles. Look at Galatians 6:6. The one who is taught the word is to share all good things with the one who teaches him. The one who is taught the word, which is you, is to share all good things with the one who teaches, which is me. The book of Malachi is structured as a 7-cycle argument between God and his people. The book of Malachi is structured as a 7-cycle argument between God and his people. Different from other prophetic books that focus on discourses, the book of Malachi takes the form of a dialogue or argument in which God speaks and the people answer back. I want to challenge everyone listening to me and anybody who honors and respects me as your man of God. I want to challenge you to read the book of Malachi this week. This week, it is a 7-cycle argument, different than any other prophetic book in the Bible. God allows the people to push back. That's crazy. God speaks through Malachi. He allows them to answer back. God tells the people how, listen to this, he expects them to live. The people respond with a cynical question, and then God expands on his original concern. This is heavy today. God tells the people, here's how I want you to live. The people respond with a cynical question. Then God expands on his original concern. What is your response to God's expectation? That's the question I want to ask you today. What is your response to God's expectation? Let's go to work. Let's go to school here. Malachi begins by telling them that God loves them with a tender, affectionate, unconditional love. Look how Malachi sets this up. Malachi says the first thing I want to make it very clear is God loves you in a very real and personal way. In return, our only reasonable response is to worship him with devotion and sacrifice. Anything less would be disingenuous. Unfortunately, their worship had become so insincere that going through the motions was the norm. Insincere. So what happens was Malachi looks at them and says, God loves you in a very deep way. He loves you in a very personal way. He knows the very hairs on your head. He's very in tune with who you are. And because he loves us the way he loves us, our only response should be devotion and honor. So what do? They do the act, but the outward action is empty because of the inward motive. The outward action is empty or lifeless because of the inward motive. God spoke through Malachi to these apathetic and complacent people. Now, I know you're not going to like today's message because I'm challenging you in a very dark and a very heavy and a very deep way. Hear me when I say this. A lot of you who are watching me today, myself included, because of this pandemic, because of quarantine, because of the lack of in-person opportunities, we are growing apathetic and complacent. We think we're going to get into heaven because we log on, not because we live strong. We think because we log on, God should be pleased. When God is saying, after you've logged on, I'm watching how you live strong. God is using Malachi to speak to these apathetic, complacent people, calling them, watch this, back to serious worship in chapter 1. in chapter 1 of Malachi, he calls them back to serious worship. No, I know you just been looking for the last 15 months. I know you may not have had opportunity to participate, but he's saying it's time to get back into his presence. God told them and us what he wants in worship. As an antidote to going through the motions in worship, God expects. Look at Malachi 1, 6 and 8. It's right there on your screen. The Lord of the heaven army says to the priest, the son, if I am your father and your master, where's the honor and the respect? Now look at how he goes deep. You have shown contempt for my name. Now I want you to see this. Why? Because I told you, unlike any other chapter, this is not where the prophet speaks and we never know how the people feel. In this particular chapter, the prophet speaks, the people respond, then the prophet expands. Now I need you to catch that, and please put that on the screen, Dre. They need to see that. The prophet speaks, the people responds, then the prophet expands. This is why I don't respect a lot of the prophetic words that come out in this new generation of prophets. It's because the prophet speaks, the people responds, then the prophet repeats. No. What happens in this text is because he's speaking from God. Even though they answer, he expands not on what they respond to, but what he originally said. Look at this now. He says, how have you ever shown contempt for your name? Look at verse 7. He expands. You have shown contempt by offering defiled sacrifices on my altar. Listen with your spiritual ears. Then you ask, how have we defiled the sacrifices? You defiled them by saying at the altar of the Lord deserves no respect. When you give blind animals as sacrifices, isn't that wrong? And isn't it wrong to offer animals that are crippled and diseased? Try giving gifts like that to your governor and see how pleased he is, says the Lord of armies. In other words, I need you to catch this. They were tripping. So they would bring a sacrificial lamb to the altar, but it was blind. They would pick through what they had and give God something not the best. That's crazy, ain't it, Rod? So look at how the argument happens with the people of God. God says, I want you to sacrifice and honor me. They come to God with a crippled goat or a blind sheep or the smallest lamb out of the runt out of the whole pack. And God said, y'all don't honor me. But I gave. That's for 7 of you who don't tithe, but then look at God and say, but I gave something. Anything less than what he asked is dishonor. Am I helping anybody? Anything less than to give an offering and not tithe is a dishonorable gift, because you cannot offer him nothing until you met the requirement. Michael, in the original Hebrew word, honor literally means to be heavy. Put that in your notes. Honor in Hebrew means to be heavy. So when you honor someone, it means you treat them as a heavy weight in your life. Yeah. So when you honor someone, it means you treat them as the heavy thing, someone of extreme importance, someone of great significance, someone whom you give the utmost respect. When God says in the 10 Commandments, honor your father and your mother, he's not just saying obey them and respect them, but treat them as if they're truly significant to you. God says here, I'm a father, I'm a master, I expect honor, I expect reverence. Don't treat me with contempt. That's critical. But God, I brought you a lamb. I want you to catch this now. Anything less than your best is an insult to God. It's right there on your screen. Anything less than your best is an insult to God. Look at what he says. You have shown contempt for my name. You ask how? Have you ever shown contempt for my name? With these defiled sacrifices. Defiled sacrifices. Here's where a lot of people, and I want to say this with love, here's where a lot of people miss the true blessings that God has for them. We miss the true blessings because people have become so sensitive that we don't teach proper honor. And where there is no proper honor, there can be no real overflow. Where there is no proper honor, there can be no real overflow. So many of us live with just enough, never more than enough, because we are so sensitive that whenever anybody tries to teach you honor, you take it as disrespect or arrogance. And because you take it as disrespect or arrogance, you get in your feelings. When you get in your feelings, you shut down. When you shut down, you block God. You block God. And what God is saying in this text is anything less than your best is an insult to God. And when it comes to God, your giving matters. That's critical. What you give God matters. What you give God matters. This is why I try my best. I am not a 10% tither. I'm more like a 15, 20% tither at this place in my life. And I give offerings because God has been too good to me for me to give him something defiled. I honor him too much. Ooh, I honor him too much. All he's done in my life, I honor him too much. When it comes to my time, when it comes to my talent, when it comes to my treasure, I honor him too much. When it comes to who I am as a man of God, I'm going to try to give him everything I have every time I stand here because I honor him. That's why even if you look at the camera, the boom shot right now, you will see there's absolutely nobody in this room right now. Just last week, this place was full. I'm going to give him everything I have, whether there's a crowd or not, because he's been too good to me. Yeah, what I give you on Sunday morning isn't predicated on who's in my presence. What I give you on Sunday morning, I'm not sure what the offering is. I don't care. I'm not preaching for finance. I'm not preaching for money. I'm not preaching for hallelujahs. I'm not preaching for amens. I am preaching because I understand that God has been so loving, so kind, so good, so great, such a healer, such a redeemer, such a restorer, such a reconciler. He's been so good to me that I can't give him a defiled offering. Wow, a defiled offering, because anything less than your best is an insult to God. People may come to worship service for many superficial reasons. They may come to hear their favorite preacher. They may want to come hear their children sing or their best singer. Worship is not an attempt to entertain worshipers or stir their emotions. Worship is not an attempt to manipulate worshipers' mind and hearts. Worship is not an attempt to indoctrinate a person. Worship is first, put this in your notes, an attempt to focus our attention on God to honor him. So as we return back to worship, we are not here to entertain you. We are not here to impress you. You're not coming here to see a celebrity preacher or a superstar singer or to see superstar atmosphere with LEDs and screens. No, our number one goal in worship is first to attempt to focus our attention on God to honor him. God said in no uncertain terms, I blame the priests because you're letting them do it. That's cold right there. When he begins to speak, Leslie, he's speaking to the priests first. He's saying because it's your responsibility to keep them focused. Somebody type focus. It is your responsibility to keep them focused. We can't sacrifice consecration for entertainment. As a church body, I'm not talking about just Rock City, but churches across the world, we have become, because of technology and because of the pressure of trying to keep your attention in a digital age. See, when you come to church, the sound didn't have to be perfect all the time. The notes weren't always perfect. The music wasn't always perfect. The sermon wasn't always perfect. We would be in church and the lights and the screens would mess up, but you were here. So because you were here, there wasn't this pressure of perfection. But because you're at home and we're dealing with the preacher from Omaha or the preacher from California, and you can go to another YouTube stream, or you can sit at home and watch TV or go in the kitchen and your phone's ringing. We had the pressure of production and perfection. And sadly, it has produced a culture of Christians and a culture of church where we have sacrificed consecration for entertainment. It's not about the anointing. It has to be attractive. We traded HD cameras for the presence of God, and things had to be perfect. And I'm a proponent for a good product. I want to have the best stream on the face of the planet. I want to have something that you can be proud of, but I never wanted to sacrifice power for production. We can't sacrifice consecration for entertainment. Here's another thing. We can't sacrifice tithing for tipping. He says, bring the whole tithe. Why would he say in Malachi, bring the whole tithe? It's because there were Christians at that time who were tipping, not tithing. Can I ask you a question? What if God partially woke you up? Well, what if he clothed you partially in your right mind? No, we can't sacrifice the calling for being cool. We can't sacrifice being Christian for church membership. So what Malachi is saying to the people of God in this particular text, I hope you catch this. He's saying you're doing something. You're not doing it all. And when it comes to God, if it's not your best, it's dishonor. Many of us don't realize that the thing that's holding us back and costing us our blessing is our giving. We no longer offer God animal sacrifices, thank God, because Christ became our sacrifice. He was born in the penalty of our sin, like the animal sacrifice in the Old Testament times bore the penalty of those people's sin. God, however, is quick to tell us that in his response to what his son has done for us, the only reasonable response we should have is to give back our best. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten. Make that make sense, Pastor Mike? He gave his best. So in return, he expects your best. If you can't honestly and sincerely admit that you've been giving God your best, then today, right now, I am here to encourage you by telling you, you can do better. Wow, you can do better. I am here to submit and suggest to you that you can do better. In this particular text, it is so heavy because Malachi suggests to them, yes, you're logging on, but you're not focused. Yes, you're giving, but you're not giving your best. Yes, you're serving, but your heart's not right. He says anything less than your best is an offense to God. And as your man of God, I stand here today and suggest to you that as we get ready to go into a new year, 2022, don't bring old sacrifices into a new season. Give God your best. When it comes to your giving, give God your best. When it comes to being alert and attentive, give God your best. When it comes to serving, give God your best. Father, in the name of Jesus, I pray, I repent as the priest of this church. I repent on behalf of all those who follow me for the times we did not give you our best. I repent for those who tipped instead of tithe. I repent for those who wanted entertainment instead of consecration. I repent for the seasons where I allowed the production to trump your presence. I ask in this moment, God, creating us a clean heart and renew a steadfast spirit. Father, in the name of Jesus, we become a culture of dishonor. We don't honor our parents. We don't honor leaders. We don't honor leadership. We don't honor our bosses. We don't honor traffic lights. We don't honor stop signs. We don't honor our children. Everything about life now is dishonor. We say what we want online, don't honor people's character. We don't honor people's time. We're late. Everything about this world is selfish, and it's keeping us from becoming what you called us to be. So God, if I have to be a loner today, I'll be a loner and stand flat-footed and look them in their heart and shout, honor, honor, honor through your giving, honor through your serving, honor through support of your ministry, honor through being attentive for the word of God. Honor those who sacrifice important to your life. Honor them. Father, I thank you in advance for the culture of honor that is in our church. We honor up, we honor down, we honor all around. It's in Jesus' name. Rock City Church, I love you so much, and I want to challenge you in the area of your honor. I mean this. When your pastor's preaching, I want you to be attentive. I want you to be alert. I want you to take your Sunday seriously again. Now, don't say I'll listen Thursday, I just watch Tuesday. No, Sunday mornings, 10:30, I want you locked in, ready, loaded, texting people, hey, get your word in. I want you to honor through your giving. Here's how you give. You can text iRock with the amount you wish to give to 28950. Many of you haven't been honoring. Get back into honoring God through your giving. I am living proof that God will do exceeding and abundant above all you could ever ask, think, dream, or imagine. The rooms that God is allowing me to sit in, I sit back now and say, it's because I honored you, God. And once I get in those rooms, I will forever honor God because I realize it was nobody but him. I love you so much. I'm praying for you. Sit tight and enjoy this. God bless you.